German commanders in World War II did not come to fear American armor suddenly or irrationally. That fear grew slowly, battle by battle, report by report, as reality crushed theory and experience failed to stop what was coming. Early in the war, German officers trusted numbers, tactics, and superior machines. Their Panthers and Tigers were masterpieces of engineering, feared across Europe, and against British armor this confidence often felt justified. British tanks moved with discipline and caution, their doctrine shaped by hard lessons from earlier defeats, emphasizing preparation, coordination, and controlled advances. To German commanders, this made sense. It was familiar. It meant the battlefield still followed rules. Against British armor, the Germans believed they could still calculate outcomes, anticipate movements, and recover from losses. A British attack might be powerful, but it paused, reorganized, and allowed space for counteraction. But when American armor arrived in overwhelming force, German commanders began to understand that the nature of the war itself had changed. The first shock was not tactical, it was psychological. German officers noticed that destroying American tanks did not bring relief. There was no silence after battle, no breathing space. Where British attacks might slow after heavy losses, American pressure only intensified. German after-action reports repeatedly described the same disturbing pattern. Engagements that should have weakened the enemy instead seemed to provoke greater strength. One Sherman burned, then another took its place. 5 destroyed, and fresh columns appeared before the smoke had cleared. German commanders realized they were no longer fighting for battlefield superiority, they were fighting against arithmetic they could not defeat. American armor represented the full weight of an untouched industrial continent. Behind every tank stood factories producing thousands more, workers operating around the clock, railroads unbombed, oil supplies secure, and shipyards launching transports faster than German submarines could sink them. For German commanders struggling with fuel shortages, spare part scarcity, and exhausted crews, this contrast was devastating. Tanks became symbols of despair. A damaged American vehicle was recovered under fire, repaired quickly, and returned to combat, while a damaged German tank often meant permanent loss, abandoned on the roadside or destroyed by its own crew to prevent capture. Fuel shortages forced German units to hide, engines silent, waiting for opportunities that never came, while American armor maneuvered freely, engines running, radios alive, supply convoys stretching endlessly behind them. German commanders feared American armor because it erased the idea of decisive victory. Even the most brilliant ambushes felt hollow. A German tank ace might destroy several Shermans in a single engagement, yet his commander understood that nothing meaningful had changed. The Americans would return tomorrow, stronger than before. This realization ate away at German morale. The war was no longer about winning battles, it was about surviving an unstoppable process. American armored doctrine emphasized speed, aggression, and constant forward momentum. U.S. commanders pushed through mud, rain, broken roads, and heavy fire, not because they ignored danger, but because their system could absorb losses without collapsing. German officers described American attacks as relentless rather than clever, overwhelming rather than precise, and that was exactly what made them terrifying. American armor never advanced alone. It came with crushing artillery fire, fighter bombers dominating the skies, and infantry closing every gap. Once American tanks punched through a line, the breakthrough did not stabilize, it expanded rapidly, turning small tactical defeats into operational disasters. German commanders increasingly feared time itself, because every hour favored the Americans. Against British armor, experience still mattered. Against American armor, production ruled everything. Diaries and reports from Normandy, the Ardennes, and the defense of Germany reveal the same dark conclusion. American tanks were not superior machines, but they were part of a superior system. British armor fought like a professional army seeking victory. American armor fought like a force that knew victory was inevitable. In the end, German commanders did not fear American tanks for their guns or armor, but for what they symbolized: the unstoppable momentum of a nation that could lose today, return tomorrow, and keep advancing until resistance simply collapsed under the weight of endless steel.